All right, GM, ladies and gentlemen, we are now live talking about Hbar, the broader markets. It's going to be a spicy time. We actually are having good news today. So if you want to feel better about things, good news today. Hbar is up 10% as of the time of recording, and from the lows is up over 27-ish%. I think it's 26% at this point. Yeah, 26% from the lows, and now on the week down 8%. The market is in mania. I mean, the stock market is like all over the place. It's up 2.3% today, which is nice, but still down 7% over the past week. It's kind of interesting. Down 7% the past week. And yeah, like we look at Bitcoin down 8%, kind of matching the stock market when it probably should be bleeding a lot more than that. XRP is down 11%, but Hbar is only down 8%. So Hbar is actually matching right now the stock market. And pretty shocked, to be honest. I was expecting a lot worse, a lot worse price performance on a lot of these main use of cryptocurrencies. But we got some good news in the markets today. So good morning, Hbar fam. Make sure you're smashing the like button. Get the word out there. More people watching Hbar videos. More people being informed. Not a lot of channels on Hbar actually giving information that's actually useful for the brain. Usually it's just price go up news. I mean, it's like I watch these Hbar YouTubers and they're just regurgitating whatever they find on X without doing any research. I made a video not long ago, I think it was like 2 hours ago, and it was talking about this right here. It's something that, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of views in regards to this stuff. It's this guy called Anthony Wrong, NVIDIA at Regional Vice President of Engineering or something like that. I did a ton of research, used ChatGPT, cross-referenced, and could not find anything that proved this was real. So assuming it's fake. And it got hundreds of thousands of views in the Hbar community. So lots of fake information out there, lots of great news as well at the same time. And yeah, no way we pumped 20% today on Hbar. I mean, we kind of were. From the lows, we're up more than 20% from yesterday. I mean, yesterday's lows were 12.6 cents. I wonder what the real low was. I don't think is it really 12.6 or is it lower than that? I'm going to go on the 30-minute. Yeah, it's about 12.4. Almost 12.5 cents. That was the real low. And I guess if we go to the minute candle, we'll probably find an even more accurate. This is what, 15 cents. Down here, 15 cents. Going down, 13 cents. Going down. So the real low was, let's see here. This is the wick. So this wick was, yeah, 12.48 cents. Yeah, that was the low. Yeah, we are up more than 20% from that. We're doing really well, actually. We're tracing the market, literally tracing the market. You could not ask for better. Everybody in the stock market's getting wrecked. Like, everybody in the stock market's getting wrecked. Fucking fart coins up today. Fart coins up today. Come on. We can't win in the crypto markets, can we? But yeah, I still am expecting the DeFi run that I've been talking about quite a bit on the channel. I think it would be very good for Hbar. Here's a couple of upgrades that happened recently. One, Avalanche Octane is now live. This is mini USA Crypto, also accumulated by World Liberty Finance. Trump has a 60% stake of World Liberty Finance, and they raised, what, $550 million. So he has, what, $400 million worth of a stake. So he has a stake on this. They are adopting dynamic fee mechanisms on the C chain, lower transaction costs. Great news for many USA cryptocurrencies. If they do well, then trust me, Hbar and every other made in USA crypto is going to do well. So I'm not bearish on covering other made in USA cryptocurrencies because they all have a lot to go ahead and gain from each other. Things for Hbar that I'm going to be making a video on later today that you're getting the alpha right now because we're on a live stream. And this news came out not very long ago. Chainlink CCIP is now live on Hbar. This is a big deal. It is a big deal for Hbar DeFi, an absolutely massive new deal because Hedera can now have cross-chain tokens, which means that pretty much 46 plus blockchains can now interact with Hbar. And what's up, Flacco? So some context on why this is important. If you're trying to do things on Hbar, I've talked to many teams on Hbar. I'm not going to name any specifics, but the biggest teams on Hbar have also the same thing. It's annoying to have to deal with Hbar's DeFi side. It is very annoying to have to code contracts for whatever Hbar's language and what they're using the contracts, right? So now they're able to go ahead and use ERC20. They're able to use many of the famous blockchain languages that people want to go ahead and use. And so I'm foreseeing ERC20 tokens are coming to HBAR very soon. And interchain is, in my opinion, key for getting Hedera TVL up. I mean, this is probably an hard take here. I think this is a bigger deal than people are probably thinking. I think this is a bigger deal than the NVIDIA news. I mean, I'm very, very strongly believe this right here is a bigger deal than the TikTok news that City Life is talking about, and a bigger deal than the NVIDIA news. This catalyst right there that you're looking at. Because now DeFi can work with not just Hedera. They can work anywhere. And if you look at rwa.xyz, this website kind of gives you details on all the RWA cryptos and all the RWA on-chain. You look at Hedera and it's nowhere here. And that's because they can't really interact with the lion's share, which is ERC20. ERC20 has a 60% market share of all RWA assets. All RWA. Sorry, just responding to something. But yeah, my thinking here is got to go ahead and understand where the money's going to flow. So City Life said there's a report on Hbar Webull News relating to the buying TikTok. So I don't really care about that because unless it actually happens, it's not going to matter. Yeah, you know, the OnlyFans founder, they're doing stuff with Zoop. They're doing a late stage bid. It's just like whether or not they win against Amazon, you know, Amazon's Amazon. I know Hedera's Hedera, but Amazon's also Amazon. So we'll see who wins, but I feel like my odds are that like Amazon wins it. So I'm not going to be excited until it actually happens. If it happens, I'll be pumping it. Like I'll be pumping the content if it actually goes through. But as it stands, I haven't really been too confident on it actually going through because it's just a bid at the end of the day. It could just be marketing, and there's nothing wrong with marketing, but I'm not going to get excited until it actually goes through. Let's go. Feels good, feels good, feels good. But yeah, so the logic is that now that we have the CCIP, we have ERC20 tokens, we have a ton of TVL coming to HBAR, and right now forming HUSD, which is the Hedera USD, that is pretty profitable. There are enough incentives to make it make sense. They're trying to market toward DeFi, and it's been the obvious play for Hedera for a long time. If they want people to hold the coin for a long enough time frame, in my opinion, as someone that is very deep into DeFi and understands the market, I think the next step for Hedera is DeFi. I really do think so. And it's not something that institutions can get into. It very much is something institutions can get into. So they're going to be looking into DeFi. Whether or not it works or not is up to interpretation. It hasn't worked so far. They're at 70 mil TVL. I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't have a guarantee that it's going to work out. But this is the obvious next step for HBAR. The next obvious step for HBAR is tapping into DeFi. They're in competition with every other made in USA crypto. They have the leg up on XRP. XRP has a pretty terrible DeFi side, but I don't think they're trying to do DeFi. Maybe they are, but you know, if they're trying to do DeFi, it's not working out for them right now. Solana has a very big DeFi side, but Solana is kind of wishy-washy. It's doing a bunch of meme coins. AVAX has very strong DeFi side, so direct competitor to HBAR in my humble opinion. And that's kind of it. I mean, who else is competing against HBAR in the mid-USA crypto space, specifically for DeFi, at the market cap that they're at? I don't really think anyone is for exactly what they're trying to do. So we'll have to see who wins this race. At the moment, Hedera looks like they're prepping for a big run on DeFi. Whether or not that has short-term price action is up to anyone's interpretation. I think at a $6 billion market cap, a lot would have to happen on their DeFi side for a pump to happen. But it should bring some stability at least. The more DeFi applications are on HBAR, the less reasons people are going to have to sell their HBAR. Maybe people want to turn their HBAR into stablecoins. Well, they can do that with HUSD, right? So you never really have to leave the HBAR ecosystem. You could stay in the HBAR ecosystem and mess around. So that is the obvious next step for pretty much every crypto chain on the planet that's looking for a use case. It's doing exactly that. I mean, it's doing exactly that. So we'll have to see what comes from it. Whenever I hear stuff about like the Hedera consensus service, doesn't excite me too much, only because while the Hedera consensus service, it's exciting, they're tracking things, big companies are using it, it's not keeping people here. It's just something that people use passing by, and it helps fluff up the numbers, which is exciting as from a marketing standpoint, but doesn't keep money here. It just kind of, money keeps moving past. But if the money stayed in DeFi through HUSD, through stablecoins, then we have an actual argument as to why people should be holding HBAR, right? If stuff like HUSD, if the DeFi side does actually take off, then we have a real argument as to why people should stay. And I think RWA is going to be that reason for why people should be interested in the first place. So that is an evolving thesis. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but there are a couple things to support it. One is Trump. The U.S. Department of Justice closed their crypto unit. This means that the war on Bitcoin crypto is over. This is what I think to be a next step, and I've been talking about this for a while, the deregulation of crypto. This deregulation is going to lead into these main USA cryptocurrencies that for the longest time haven't been able to grow their DeFi side because they were scared of exactly what you're looking at right now, being closed. Now they're able to do what they need to do, and Trump has a large stake in Mini USA Crypto DeFi. He has a large stake in Mini USA Crypto DeFi. He wants DeFi to work out. So he's going to do everything in his power, at least from what I'm seeing here, to make Mini USA Crypto DeFi work. And that is why I think HBAR is kicking up the marketing and why I think the price is the way it is today. That's what I think the logic is and where everything adds up to. What's up, Odo Pops? Now I'm kind of going to start the Ask Me Anything. I'm going to probably be live for like another 10, 20 minutes. I just want to do a quick live stream here to kind of get everything out there. The news, it's quickly evolving. In terms of China, in terms of the tariffs, there's a reason that Bitcoin's price is kind of wishy-washy down today. It's because China doesn't want to give up on the trade war. They're doubling down. They're retaliating. Their currency is debasing. So it's at the lowest point since what? Like I think 2023, something like that. We'll see how that goes over a long enough time frame, whether or not they're able to defend it and keep the trade war going. I would say from a war of attrition, if you look at global fertility rates, and this might be a little bit off topic, but if you look at global fertility rates, I think China's is what, 1.1 kids per couple, and the US is about 1.7 kids per couple, plus, of course, immigration, which puts it above that 2.1 fertility rate. That means that China's population is going to be falling. And so they're not going to be able to hold through any long-term economic growth. It's going to slow down at some point because of that, specifically because of that. The workforce is the most important part of any country's long-term growth strategy. So if the workforce kind of stagnates, then you're going to have big problems in the future. And they're kind of at that point of no return, similar to South Korea. South Korea is having a huge population crisis over the next 40-ish years. Half of the population is projected to be old, and they're kind of screwed. No one is better positioned than Hedera. Yeah, so the next obvious play is going into stuff like crypto and Hedera and the Mini USA cryptocurrencies, because it seems like this 5D chess is going to work out. If you look at top 24-hour gainers, Fartcoin's beating us. Fartcoin's beating us, guys. Sorry. Yeah, HBAR's up. They're a top gainer. And what's the top gainer this week? What's the top loser? Top loser's 30%. Jeez. Ouch. HBAR is what? Here, they're doing pretty good. Relative. They're number 16 in the world right now. Is it better to stake Sauce or keep value in Sauce and gain higher staking years with XSauce since Sauce is staked as HBAR? Will Sauce always price always grow with HBAR because of it? Kind of, Fidel. Kind of. Technically, if HBAR does really well and Sauce does really well, then yeah, like you'd be better off doing that. If you think that that's not going to be the case forever, which I would argue staking short-term is cool. Long-term staking is not very cool, in my humble opinion. That's my experience trading crypto. I'm not a big fan of long-term staking. Then, I take responsible profits and farm whatever you want to farm. I would say it's better to stake right now. I'm very bullish on Sauce. I think Sauce is going to do well. Because the reason I think Sauce is going to do well is because a lot of things on HBAR rely on Sauce. A lot. If DeFi is going to do anything, quite frankly, and guys, I'm not sponsored by HBAR. I'm not sponsored by Sauce. I'm not sponsored by any of these guys. It's just like raw take here. As someone that has turned $1,000 into $30K on HBAR, I think that Saucer is the last hope for HBAR DeFi. And so they have to work for HBAR DeFi to work. And if they're already signaling that they are going to go ahead and do this, then boom, Saucer Swap has to be a success. Simple as that. Really as simple as that. So we'll see how it goes. I think Hbar and OnlyFans guy only bringing 50 mil to the table versus like Circle or Amazon bringing 500 mil. Yeah, I think it's a marketing stunt. Auto, like I'm bullish on Hbar and all, because some people need to hear it. They think like I'm bearish all of a sudden because I disagree with something. It's just a marketing stunt. Like, I don't think they're gonna win the bid. It doesn't make any sense. They get a lot bigger of a value add by going with something like Amazon. So I don't think it's gonna happen. But if it does happen, hey, 15 cent Hbar is very low. That's a very low bid if it actually goes through. But we'll see. With $1,000, you have to buy now. Right now? Okay, so right now, current prices. Which 3 coins would you put it, and how much do you put in each percentage-wise? Well, if you're doing 3 coins, you have to equal split. You have to equal split if we're being like that. I would say right now, that is not a hard question, actually. I mean, there's a couple options. There's one, putting it on Tron, waiting for meme season. Don't think that's going to happen, though, so probably wouldn't do it there. Move did their catalyst. They're doing buybacks. They got manipulated. Probably wouldn't do it there. Hbar, it's down a lot. It's actually a pretty decent option. If you're doing mini use of cryptos, like, pretty good option. You can't go wrong with them. So I guess for the sake of the live stream, first one's Hbar. Second one would have to be, I mean, it depends on, if you're a boomer, do Bitcoin. If you're a boomer, do Bitcoin. If you're not a boomer and you want to do stuff like RWA, then the most obvious one is probably going to be something like Chainlink. I think Chainlink's going to do well. Second one that's probably going to do well is something like Ondo. Like, Ondo is very boring, so we're going to do well. And then for gaming, I would choose Beam. I would choose Beam for gaming because I'm a gaming dude, so I would choose gaming companies. So those would be my 3 picks right now if I had to put money into things. What I'm actually doing, which I think is a better question, is he actually doing it? No. Why only 30 people in the stream? I don't know. You got to smash the like, get more people on here. Well, I remember when Hbar was pumping 40 cents, we had 1,000 people on this live stream. You don't even know. 1,000 people were on this live stream. Just random live stream that I kicked up. 40 cent Hbar, 1,000 people. Price goes down to 16 cents. All of a sudden, 30 people on the live stream. It's the most hilarious thing in the world. But I've come to, as a content creator, as a dude that just does this, I've come to just ignore the numbers. At the end of the day, the 30 people that are with me when the market is down equals people that are going to be rich when the market is up. Much more important than the other 970 people that could possibly come when the markets are up. The 970 guys buying the top don't matter to me nearly as much as the 30 guys that bought during the bottom that are actually going to make money. Like, it's simple as that. I value, and this is something that I think Hbar YouTubers, if an Hbar YouTuber is going to see this in the future, this is what I have to say to them. You cannot be one of those people that say, oh, Hbar is going to go to, $100 and XRP is going to $10,000. Because what you're going to create is an audience that is just going to be exit liquidity and they're never going to sell. They're literally never selling. And they're going to get screwed over because at some point we're entering a bear market. Doesn't matter how bullish the tech is. Altcoins are just so risky. They pump and dump for absolutely no reason. You have to go ahead and make your money when it's attractive. The risk reward makes sense right now. It makes sense. Is a dollar your minimum? Well, a dollar's not a minimum price prediction. It's where I think it's going to go to. I think at least $1 is where it's going to. Now, with this being said, I have said many times on my videos, many times. I mean, at this point, I've got to sound like a parrot. I've got to be a parrot at this point. You got to take profit when you're comfortable, because there are so many people that are so opportunistic. You know how many people, you don't get it. You know how many YouTubers are out there? And for example, if you look at my description, and listen, I am kind of guilty of this as well. If you go on my description, oh, this is the wrong channel. Hold on. This is my gaming channel. If you go to my description, you'll be like, oh, well, I'm going in and I see my Blowfin link. So I see this leverage trading link, right? You know how many people go on Hbar videos and they go, the price of Hbar is going to have a massive breakout, so you have to buy right now. You have to buy right now. And then in the middle of the video, they go, oh, don't forget to, if you want to support me, to click on my affiliate link in the description. Because they want you to do leverage trading so they can make money. Like, that's why they want you to do this. So it's very opportunistic, and I would argue not very good for the world. So I would much rather be that guy that says, I have this price prediction. I am bullish on this coin, but I'm also not an idiot. And I don't want you to be treated like an idiot either. You know how many people on YouTube treat their viewers like they don't know anything about crypto? Like, yeah, there's a good amount of you guys that are new to crypto because that's just normal. People, when there's an adoption curve, people become new to crypto. They learn about crypto. They learn the fundamentals. There's also a lot of guys that have been here for a long time and they get this. So maybe we generalize the news and we teach people what they actually need to know versus pushing our affiliate links. Maybe we should do that. And maybe, just maybe, if our viewers made money and they become people that learn about crypto enough, they click the links without having to be forced to click the links because they just want to support you because you've made them money. People don't get it. I have pushed millions of dollars worth of nodes, and I pushed billions of dollars worth of capital into ecosystems. It's because people have made enough money on our videos to actually justify spending on the things that we push. I don't tell people, you need to go ahead and spend money and you need to buy this thing right now. It's irresponsible. It's irresponsible. And I get it. It's legal. You can get away with it. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's irresponsible. Irresponsible. So you asked me a price prediction on Hbar. Like, I'm not the all-seeing eye. I, as a human being, have already told everybody that take profit on your initial investment when you feel comfortable, which I've already done. I turned $1,000 into $3. If anyone turned, let's up the numbers, $10,000 into $300,000. It's the same multiple. It's 30x. If you turn 10K into 300K, you're not taking any profit. That is insane. You're not okay in the head if you're doing that. You have to take some level of profit, even if it's your initial investment. Even if you're just taking 10K out of $300,000, do it. Take the risk out. If it's too much for you, if you feel uncomfortable right now that the price is 15 cents, you should get the hell out. I mean, like, that's really what people need to know. So the price prediction depends on where your head is, what makes sense for you, what you want out of the space. Because there's going to be people dumping on you eventually, which we're currently seeing right now due to market conditions, due to whatever's going on in the world. Doesn't matter. I don't want to give excuses. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. So you have to see whatever's right for you. If I tell you my price prediction when I sell most of my Hbar is probably going to be something like $2. It's probably not going to hit $2, but either way, I'll probably hold most of my Hbar for the next cycle. I mean, that's my reality. I'm okay with holding half my Hbar for another 4 years. I don't care because I've already taken my initial investment out. I can afford to take that risk because I think my personal thesis is going to make sense. It's going to add up. And I'm probably going to buy more Hbar as the cycle continues because I'm going to make money off of other cryptos and I'm going to put it into cryptos that I think are safer, right? Less multiples, but safer. Now, with this being said, a lot of people cannot afford that risk. A lot of people cannot afford that. People have to pay their rent. People have to feed their kids. People have responsibilities. So if you feel like you've made enough money that you're happy, just take your profit. Maybe you leave a little bit, leave a moon bag. I know Wendio talks about it all the time. I agree with her. I think leaving a moon bag is a great idea. I've left hundreds of moon bags on hundreds of projects, and some of them have done really well for me. Miria is a great example of that. Miria, we invested in the beginning, and in the beginning, the price was, 0.007249 or whatever. And we got into these nodes. We lost, 90% of our investment in the first couple months. And then boom, the token 10x'd, we all made money. Everybody made money on Miria and Hbar, actually. But yeah, everybody made money on Miria. It was crazy how much this token went up. But let's say you had this huge thesis on crypto gaming. You thought crypto gaming was the best play in the world. You held because you think crypto gaming is going to do well, which I think crypto gaming will make it. Now, I don't know if the current crypto gaming coins are going to make it. And that's why you take profit responsibly, because there are going to be lots of coins that go up like this. You think they're going to keep going up forever. You're up on your investment after being down so much. You say, if I risk this coin going down 90%, I want this coin to at least go 10x before I take profit. And well, you would have gotten your 10x, and quite frankly, you would have probably kept holding because you would have wanted it to keep going up forever. You see this double top, you go, oh, but I'm going to keep holding because it's going to have another breakout. This is going to be enormous. And it goes down 95%. Down 95%, and we're all dead. It's all dead. And then you go, oh, but I'm going to hold because this is going to come back. Yeah, but why do I have to hold through a 95% decrease on an asset when I could just be taking my profit, and whenever I decide my thesis allows me to get back into the crypto or get into another crypto, I do it. There's no world you need to go through that stress. You shouldn't have to go through that. Meme season, question mark. I do think memes are going to come back. I hate to be that guy. Now, when it comes to something like Hbar, so we played the meme season really well. We made a lot of money on, well, not a lot of money. We made a good amount of profit on the meme season on Hbar. It was very brief. I talked about my thesis. We called that Dino coin at like 2 mil publicly. You could check the videos, and it went to like 10 mil or something like that. It was at over 2 mil for a very long time. We took our profit well before that, made multiple videos talking about it. Everybody should have made money on Dino. If they didn't, I don't know what they're on. It was the biggest meme coin in Hbar. And the reason it failed, my opinion, is the DeFi ecosystem just didn't have enough liquidity. There wasn't enough money in Hbar DeFi to warrant a proper meme season. So the goal is to get into things that don't have enough liquidity early, very early, take your risk to reward and get out. It really is as simple as that. I think I got out like a day or two after. It wasn't a long time because there just wasn't enough money on Hbar. Now, when it comes to ecosystems like Brett, Brett is, it's okay. I don't know how I feel about Hbar, if I'm completely honest. Like, look at Fidel here. After watching your videos in November, I put $1,100 in Hbar. In 3 days, I took $3,500 profit. There you go. Best intro to Hbar. And the great thing, Fidel, is I am not going to be a YouTuber that says, oh, but you're going to regret this because Hbar is going to go to $1, so you need to buy back in. Or I wouldn't implore any of my viewers say, this guy he sucks because he took profit too early. You did great. You did exactly what we all want. You made your profit. You made what you thought was right, and you got out. There is nothing wrong with that. In fact, I would say you're going to make more money than 99% of people in crypto. 99% of people in crypto. Now, what I want you to take from this, because I have family members, same situation, they made a profit. They asked me a couple months later, do I buy back into crypto? Bitcoin's at $80,000. I think it was $90,000 at that time. Bitcoin was at $90,000. Should I buy back into crypto? Is this the time to go ahead and DCA in? If they did that, they would have been down 50%. And I don't know if they could hold down 50% on their cryptos. They probably would have capitulated just like they did last cycle. They did the same thing last cycle. They got some profit, they double dipped, and they lost. You make your profit, and you need to be a very patient camper. And if you decide to get into crypto again, don't throw $3,500 into the play. Don't just go all in again and just expect to go. It's like playing Martingale, and then once you win on the Martingale strategy, you just double down and you just keep going. It's not how that works. You're not supposed to do that. If you want to get back into crypto, put your initial investment back in, $1,100. And if it goes to zero, if your crypto goes to zero and it's all capitulating, crypto goes to $50,000 Bitcoin, and even if it goes back up to $1, even if Hbar goes back up to $1, that would represent from $1,100, not a 10x, it's what, like 7, 8x, something like that. That's great. That's great. You can't complain about that. It's what, like $8,000 from $1,000? Where are you getting that in the stock market? I mean, sure, there are probably places, but not a lot of places. So you got to be happy with what you got. And if you put $1,100 in, that's your initial, right? You had $3,500 in profit. It goes up a lot. You still got to be happy about that. And it goes down to zero. You're not going to be that stressed about it because you still made $2,000. You won the lottery. You won the casino. Crypto is a big casino. If you won the casino, don't double dip on the casino. So yeah, you did a great job, man. Did a great job. Congratulations. Hbar price prediction. So I would say my price predictions, once it hits all-time high, I'm going to be taking a very solid amount of profits. That's 57 cents. And then I know that's very conservative, but I have a lot of money in crypto. It's not like my Hbar position is like $1,000. It's much larger than that. And I have 7 figures in crypto almost. Well, at all-time highs, I had more than that. But nowadays, you know how it is. The market's killed us all. So yeah, I have a lot of profit in crypto. I don't need a 10x in crypto. I don't. I need maybe a 2-3x in crypto, and I'm happy. 2-3x in crypto. Bitcoin goes to 150K, and I'm a very happy man. So my price prediction is different from yours. But I would say $1, $1.50. That would be like another 50% take profit zone, and $2 would be like, I'll sell most of it. I'll probably sell 90% of my Hbar by then. Even if it goes up to $20 or $30 in the future for whatever reason, starts going mass adoption mode, I'm okay with that. I'm perfectly fine with being that guy that has this Bitcoin pizza moment. Where do you think XRP could go up to? Well, 17 ETFs. I don't think it's really like that big of a deal. Ethereum has a bunch of ETFs, and yet it has only $8 billion worth of inflows on their ETFs. It did nothing for the Ethereum price. So I don't think correlation on ETFs means anything except for Bitcoin, at least right now. Until I'm proven otherwise, I don't care about ETFs for the most part. I'll talk about it on videos, but I don't really care. If I'm buying XRP, it's not for the ETF news. ETFs aren't going to be a big deal for XRP. And this cringe, multiplication effect that people keep talking about because of the lack of liquidity, like that's kind of every crypto, and it's much more complicated. Futures volume is what mostly drives crypto. So yeah, that's pretty much where we stand. All right, friends, I have a business meeting that I have to go ahead and tap into. It's 12:30. Thank you all for joining the live stream. I will be live tomorrow, so do look forward to that. Thank you all for watching the video. Stay classy, y'all, and I'll see y'all later. Thank you.